set of all of the poetry of J R R Tolkien. It's presented in this very nice slipcase. Decorated with artwork by the author. I think some of these pictures featured in the art book by Tolkien that I looked at before. So as you can see, the 3 volumes are chronological, in chronological order, 1910 to 1919, 1919 to 1931, and 1931 to 1967. And they are 3 hardback volumes. So let's take a look at the books themselves. I think I will move the case to one side for now. As it is quite large. So, Volume 1. Oops. Volume 2. And Volume 3. This is this was on the back of the slipcase, held in just by the shrink wrap. So it's just a little description of what this is. J R R Tolkien aspired to be a poet in the first instance, and poetry was part of his creative life, no less than his prose, his languages, and his art. So within this collection, almost 250 works are presented across 3 volumes, including more than 70 that have never before been seen. So there is unpublished material within this collection. Just, you can see there, the print price is £90 UK or $150 Canadian. So I don't know what the American price is. I only paid 50, around 50. It was on sale. While I'm a big Tolkien fan, I'm not someone who reads a lot of poetry, so it was more the Tolkien aspect that attracted me to this set. But if someone had asked me who's your favourite poet, the honest answer would be Tolkien, mainly because he's the only writer of whom I have read, numerous poems, mostly from the Lord of the Rings and the History of Middle-earth series. So, obviously each volume contains poetry, So it continues. So some of the contents will be familiar to fans of Tolkien's other works. Here, for example, what has just jumped out at me is the poem The Three Rings for the Elven Kings Under the Sky, which of course features at the start of The Lord of the Rings. Here is the Song of Legolas, an elven maid there was of old. Hey, come merry doll, hop along my little friends, which I'm guessing is one of the rhymes of Tom Bombadil. But as well as the Middle-earth material, there's lots of other poetry that Tolkien wrote over the years, which I would not be as familiar with. There is also, in Volume 3, which I will show you, an index, again, that covers the entire 3 volumes. So at the end of Volume 3, we have an alphabetical index. So for example, if you were interested in Tom Bombadil, you can go to these page numbers and find poems that deal with Tom Bombadil, and there are several there listed. Oh, we have The Children of Hurin, one of the great tales of Middle-earth, and of which there was the narrative poem, which I'm familiar with from the Lays of Beleriand volume from the History of Middle-earth. So that is the index as well. Now in terms of the physical volumes, I think these are very nice indeed. It's nice to have Tolkien's own artwork used, and they seem to be well put together. They seem to be good quality. The binding, as I always am happy to see, appears to be stitched. I believe it is anyway. Certainly, as you can see, the pages, they open really nicely, and the book will lie flat, making it easy to read, and the paper seems of reasonable quality as well. So I thought what I might do is read one poem. This, I hope I've still got the bookmark in the right place. Yep, that's good. This poem I first came across in the Book of Lost Tales, Volume 1, which is the first volume of the History of Middle-earth series. And this is called You and Me and the Cottage of Lost Play, or The Little House of Lost Play. We know that land, do you and I, and often have been there. spun twilight hours of little early tucked up beds in drowsy summer night, that you and I got lost in sleep and met each other there, your dark hair on your white nightgown, and mine was tangled fair. We wandered shyly hand in hand, or rollicked in the fairy sand, and gathered pearls and shells in peals, while all about the nightingales were singing in the trees. We dug for silver with our spades by little inland sparkling seas that ran ashore through sleepy glades and down a warm and winding lane we never, never found again, between high-whispering trees. The air was neither night nor day, but faintly dark with softest light, when first there glimmered into sight the cottage of lost play. 'Twas builded very, very old, white and thatched with straws of gold, and pierced with peeping lattices that looked toward the sea. And our own children's garden plots were there, our own forget-me-nots, red daisies, cress, and mustard, and blue Nemo fillet. Of all the borders trimmed with box were full of favourite flowers, of phlox, of larkspur, pinks, and hollyhocks, beneath a red May tree. And all the paths were full of shapes, of tumbling, happy, white-clad shapes, and with them you and me. And some had silver watering cans, and watered all their gowns, or sprayed each other. Some laid plans to build them houses, fairy towns, or dwellings in the sea. And some were clambering on the roof, some crooning lonely and aloof, and some were dancing fairy rings and weaving pearly daisy strings, or chasing garden bees. But here and there a little pair with rosy cheeks and tangled hair debated quaint old childish things, and we were one of these. And why it was tomorrow came, and with his grey hand led us back, and why we never found the same old cottage or the magic track that leads between a silver sea and those old shores and gardens fair, where all things are that ever were, we know not, you and me. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite poems. And as I said, actually ties into the very early history of Middle-earth and the writing of those stories. So this is the collected poems of J R R Tolkien. I think it will appeal to Tolkien fans and poetry fans. I gave you a taste there, but there is a variety within this. Some more light-hearted, some narrative, like the lays of Beleriand, the lay of Lythian, the lay of the children of Hurin. Some more serious. It is a lovely set. If you're kind of a completist and you like to have everything to do with Tolkien, it's very, it is a very nice collection to have. share it with you. You know, you can probably pick it up for a good deal less than the cover price if you look online and are patient. I personally think the price that I paid, I think that was a bargain. It's probably worth the cover price. It's a beautiful